Alex here. Sorry I'm late, as usual. I meant to continue more yesterday, but that didn't happen, sadly, due to stuff that just kind of fell in my lap, but... Anyway, we're back here, and we're more or less on the final hours of Nioh 2, but like usual, there is some stuff to do. And the last mission we did was the Mausoleum of Evil, which was pretty much the game's version of the Iga Fortress from the first game, where everything was topsy-turvy, where we went looking around for these dragon jewels, and it just lowered the water around this Buddhist temple, and below the water was like practically a reflection of it, pointing downwards, and it ended up being like the prison for like 3 major yokai. And we fought one of them, Shuten Doji, who's like one of the big 3 in real Japanese folklore. And by the way, Byodo-in, that Buddhist temple, it's actually real. It is real, and there's a lot of legends surrounding that place, and one of them includes being the fact that it was the resting place for the remains of at least one of those yokai that we fought, most notably Shoten Doji and quite possibly Otakemaru. And by the way, at the end of, I'll get into it in a bit. Let me go to the hut, so that way we have less noise. And I went and did a Twilight mission, and I am close to doing maximizing my proficiency for the Onmyo. Just got a couple more points to go. It was the Island of Monsters mission, where I ended up fighting the owl boss again. And, of course, I unlocked another entry for him. Tataramoke. Yup. Tataramoke typically do not exceed the size of a large bird, but extraordinarily large versions of this yokai are occasionally born when a multitude of vengeful spirits are drawn into one another and coalesce into a much bigger entity. These giant Tataramoke are capable of releasing the spears that form them in clusters, firing them at humans like living arrows. Yeah, he's not, I wouldn't say, the hardest boss in the game. Not that honor goes to Katsuye Shibata, but he is probably what I would call one of the most tedious bosses in the whole game, because he flies around, you can barely hit him, and because he flies around, you can barely hit his eyes, which are a huge weak point. It's like he's pretty much the closest we have to Hino Enma from the first game. Hino Enma, occasionally she would go and float in the air, and you'd have to shoot her down in order to weaken her. Well, similar principle with him with shooting the eyes, but because he flies around, you can barely get any good hits on him. So it's like you might as well just wait for him to come back down and then get him. So yeah, he's definitely next to Katsuye, and so far, him and Magoichi, my top 3 most hated bosses in the game. He's not the hardest, but he is the most tedious because of the fact that he flies around. Shuten Doji, yep. He is, in fact, one of the big 3, and of course, he looks nothing like this in his in the folklore paintings. As you can see, one, he's ugly. He's not nearly as ugly. He doesn't have a beard, and in place of that, they gave him a mane of hair that would make even the band members of Wasp and green with envy. And I also correct myself, that is not grog or anything in that gourd that he carries around with him. That is sake. I just, I completely forgot that was like the prime alcoholic drink for everyone back in the day. Sake. That, and I just don't care for sake, so of course I kind of just forgot about that. Still, it is a nice little trick that you can hit that gourd of his to get Amrita out of it. And I liked him. What was hard for me was his hair, how he twirls it around in an area attack. It's like, I'm so used to Enenra and how he does it with his tornadoes where you could just go right through it. Whereas with him, because it's connected right towards him, it's like, you have to get away from him. Yeah, Shoten Doji, yep, top 3, along with Tamamo, Nomai, and Otakemaru. And Otakemaru, you'd be surprised how much I had to sift through Google just to find a legit entry that wasn't connected to Nioh, and to not spoil myself the game, because, seriously, you'd think there'd be more legit. And yes, Otakemaru is, of course, a demon, or, so powerful he was considered a demon god, or both a god and a demon, more or less. And he was felled by a hero named Tamura Maru, who, by the way, slayed Otakemaru with a sword called Sohaya. So yeah, they changed the name of the sword to Sohaya Maru, and I could not find any indication if there was ever a clan called the Sohaya. Until I've read up otherwise, it seems to be unique just to Nioh 2. But there was a sword bearing that name, and it was used by this dude to kill Otakemaru in the real world fiction. And by the way, I also like how it was hard to admittedly pay attention, but when I killed Shuten Doji, he mentioned the last person who felled him, and that how they did it was by tying him down and making him drunk with a poison laced sake before they cut his head off and buried it in Byodoin. So yeah, it's like I make it no secret. I hate it when fiction, especially ones that I liked that have fallen from grace, like, say, Halo, especially under 343, and of course, more disgustingly so, Disney's handling of Star Wars. I make it no secret, I hate how, in order to support their badly written filth, they rely way too much and abuse supplementary material to explain their shitty stories. Whereas here in Nioh 2, I kind of have the opposite feeling, where it's like, you have all these names of different people and stuff thrown around, but it's because Nioh 1 and 2 are so steeped in actual Japanese history and folklore that I actually feel the opposite effect, where I feel encouraged to go looking all this shit up, and it's fascinating. I like how they it's one thing to have something recent like Halo and Star Wars where it's so badly handled they have to over-explain everything and supplementary material and make it even worse. Whereas something like Nioh and even God of War, for instance, are already steeped in thousands of years of mythology and history, so it's like I can kind of excuse it. Of course, I would also argue that it does admittedly still it is still admittedly a weakness in the game, where it's like I've of course brought it up, where characters come up and apparently die off screen like Danzo does, and it's like, when the shit did that happen? So it's one of those cases where the game kind of admiringly, but perhaps to a partial detriment, relies too much on the player knowing at least some shred of Japanese Sengoku period history. To its credit, it does fill in a lot of the gaps with a lot of these entries, but it does kind of feel a little shortchanged when the game kind of just has it implied, and for someone like me who of course is not Japanese, granted because admittedly this game's primary audience is Japan, it does admittedly leave me a little lost, and I'm like, okay, when did this happen? But again, steeped in actual stuff where I'm kind of like, I feel curious enough to do it, as opposed to Star Wars, Halo, or Destiny or Mass Effect, where it's like they're nowadays, where it's like, no, we're not going to tell you this. Go read our $50 book that we failed to put in the actual game itself. So it's like, yeah. So that's pretty much the gist of 2 nights ago. And I'm almost there with the proficiency for the unknown magic, which, again, I wish they did not bring that back for this game. I wish they left it alone in Nioh 1. But we're almost there. Almost there. I just need to keep spamming fire magic and the other Onmyo spells that I love using. And let me switch back to much more powerful armor, because I'll be frank, even though I don't like the color scheme to an extent, I would have preferred a darker pant of some kind rather than the red. I do really love the swordsman robes and hakama. Just looks so cool to me. So yeah, I likely do not want to risk dying a lot wearing that when I should probably wear something more powerful like the veteran cuirass if I can find it. Tactician 290, plate mail 294, 298 for the Warrior of the West. Ugh, the freaking weight limit again. I freaking hate the weight limit. Look at that. How is it that I guess it's because technically the General's Cuirass is heavy armor and the Veteran isn't. But it does kind of have me, like thrown for a loop when that has higher defense, and yet I can wear it perfectly fine with no problems. $222. 234, 31, 246, of course, can't wear it because of the frickin' weight limit. Ugh. I hate the weight limit. It's so dog shit. I wish games would stop using it. Because it doesn't make it, it makes things like ridiculous. The Mataza looks, yeah. Golden Gourd looks hideous, all the gourds hanging on it. Let me see if I can lower it a bit. Really? It's a freaking headband. How much heavier is the damn thing? Really? I ask you. Now lot of these have good stats, but I can't wear them because of the weight limit. Fucking weight limit. $58, $59. Nioh Magic Power or Arrow's Bane. Dragon God Sacred Treasure. Huh. That was one of the we were using Dragon God treasures. Samurai General Greaves. Increased attack, projectile damage. I like the look of the Arrow's Bane one because of the little claws on the toes, but I'm gonna wear the veteran. Barehanded is completely useless, and I have no idea why the game keeps insisting on it. Emery to earn, but the defense is lower, and again... screw it, I'll wear the full veteran set. Come off it. I look good with them katanas all over the place, don't I? And yes, they do show up in the cutscenes. Well, the ones where she doesn't use any weapons anyway. And as of 2 nights ago, I have officially gotten the trophies for unlocking all the weapon-specific all the weapon-specific secret arts, but of course there are some weapons that have multiple secret art spells on them. There's one. Yo, Dachi has... Oh, wait a minute. There it is. Might as well. Besides, I much prefer the Odachi anyway. I kind of want to use the Shuten Doji Club, Kanabo Club. I remember these two. I could have sworn they went by a different name in the first I do not remember this one being called Will-O-Wisp Blade. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just can't remember because it was so long. But I definitely remember these two, and I loved the crap out of them because of their shape. This one, I don't know what I want to use for my... I might as well start finishing off the familiarities of weapons I haven't completed yet, like this. So yeah, title shows one of them, but I'm gonna start with Mataza the Spear. No, wait, no, not that one. The Roaming Artisan, which is 103, and then of course I will follow it up with Mataza the Spear, and if I can, maybe follow it up with this one right here. I don't know. I tend to go 2 side missions at a time, 3 if I can help it. So, Roaming Artisan. I have a feeling this has to do with either with Okumi or somebody else. So yeah, Golden Castle's the next main mission. And we got a couple of other new side missions we can do, but some of them depend on fulfilling requirements, and I have no idea where some of them might be. Shibata Katsui in the interim. We didn't see him there, so I have a bad feeling we may have to encounter him again, which I'm not gonna be pleased about if that happens, and I'm hoping not. Yaksha returns. I have no idea who that is. Earn the valuable Cherry Blossom chat book. I have no idea what that is or where to get it. So anyway, let's start with the roaming artisan. Oh, it is it's Senji. It's a Senji mission. Never mind. My grandfather's finally returning from his travels, but it says here he's had some trouble navigating the mountains. I'm a little worried there's no sign of him. Could you go and look for him? Is this where Muramasa finally shows up again? But then again, oh, it's the temple from the first game. Again, with Nioh 2 abusing old levels. Granted, this was one of the better ones, so I can't complain too much, I suppose. These ruins, located deep within the mountains and surrounded by sheer cliffs, are believed to have been constructed by a once powerful clan. Even after the clan's demise, its great shrine and underground catacomb remain impressive, but with no one around to care for them, they have fallen to ruin and now house nothing other than yokai. At this point, not even grave robbers are willing to approach it. It's a nice level, but I really wish Team Ninja actually made a new one instead of just, you know, reusing the same ones over and over again. Because it screams laziness to me, honestly. That's blocked. How inconvenient. I remember, I'm used to enemies also being up in the ceilings. Roofs, excuse me. Well, he looks different. He's not wearing a helmet. Like the other aberrants typically do. By the way, these are like probably my favorite dual swords in the entire game. I love the look. I don't think they're that practical in terms of use, but real world use. But you know, it's one of those cases where the rule of cool wins out. Kamaname, another Resetsu. I love the Resetsu, the blade itself, not so much the club. The weight at the end, I mean. And my battery on my controller's low for whatever reason. Hold on a second. I really need to buy a new PlayStation 4 control cord because the default one is so unacceptably short. It's the same problem with the PS3. You know, say what you will about the Xbox brand, at the very least their controller cords are like a mile long and you don't have to worry about about them being too short. Whoa. Can't fight him. Maybe I can. Not a big fan of them either. My fault. I did not prep myself beforehand. I kind of let myself get my guard down. Shit. At least I took care of the Kuroka, so he's done. Woo! And just like that, leveled up. This one, which I haven't used in forever. Another veteran Curious, but it looks weaker than the one I already have. Sorry, Hag, you lose. Ugh, high stance is so powerful. I just remembered that this particular sword set is both the lightning and thunder combo, so I just applied that for no reason. But hey, if it gives me Nioh, that's what matters, I suppose. Nioh credit, I mean. It's always the bullshit ones. Oh, they say they're 1-star, but they're really tougher than they look. Okay, got my stuff back. How was my offering level? Oracle Blessing. What's this? Life Seal. Reduces their key count. Otegine, that's an old one from the first game. I'm tempted to use the Shoten Doji for kicks. This one's worse. Yeah, oh, but that's definitely, this one's better. Definitely better than this one. Fall damage means absolutely freaking nothing, and this one is worse than the one I already am wearing. 90. Lower defense, don't need it. Same stat, same bonuses, but worse defense. Arrow's Bane helmet.
Hee hee. Uh-oh. Wheel monk. Oh, these old traps. Proficiency. Nice. Letter. Herbal remedy. Can I shoot him from here? Looks like I can. Yes. Oh, big guy. Yeah, I know I'm wearing I'm using a weapon that has fire already, but I want the proficiency points. Can you blame me? Landing attack, which is the key used for secret attacks. Attack +2. I'll get the attack +2. This is finally leveled up. Only took a long time. And returned. I tried to do the feral, it didn't work. I hate it that it doesn't work. Ow. That was dumb. I'm literally behind a wall. And she hit me anyway. I pressed to dodge, you stupid game. Am I over encumbered and that's why? No, my key count is fine. My weight count is fine, so I don't know why I'm lacking in key. I don't know what he's wearing, but it looks cool, whatever it is. And Raikiri that I already have. Attract the aberrant. Okay, hit me anyway, I guess. Let's play with the Kanabo. Again, it's sadly classed as an axe, so it is what it is, I guess. I like the look of it, though. A nice gold, spiky look. Shootin' Doji Club. Well, that broke his defense. And there's a kitty right there. Just falls over and dies. That's funny. And there's something in here. It's usually bad news, always. Before I go and get it, I am going to go get the cat. Pet the cat game, thank you. I'm gonna switch to the Panther. I haven't used him in a long time. Huh. Another one with nice hair. This door is locked and I cannot use it. Brilliant. Goddamn traps. Well, I wasted that, wait a minute. Guess I didn't waste it after all. Kind of sucks there's no, technically no mace or club class in this game. It's folded in with the axe and hammers. Smashy, smashy. Multiple Raikiris. This one I don't need anymore. Life drain, maybe I'll hold on to. Firefly. Now that's a good Sohaya mask right there. Doubt I'll wear it, but nice to see it have good bonuses. Okay, somebody is humming down there. Aha! Hee. Okay, I really like this thing. And it's cursed, so of course we'll likely hear more words from Mr. Joji himself. Oh, there's an Ona. That wall looks like it could get broken or something. Mugatsu core. Forgot I had that attached to my tiger. I also forgot I had even equipped the tiger. Denied, idiot. Spider. That is not an axe I've seen. Oh, are you kidding me? Broadcast quality is down. Fucking bullshit. Well, you know what that means. Start up with another part within 2 seconds because the PS4 cannot keep up. Be back in 2 seconds with another part.